I am Dr. Yakin Abdullah Habeeb, the author of the book It's Time for the Black Man's Revolution: How to Save Nigeria Now for Future Nigerians. In the fourth episode, I presented a brief of the chapter 4 of the book on public awareness and political accountability. I now give a brief of chapter 5, titled The Dangers of Faulty Electoral Process. Nelson Mandela once said about Nigeria that your elections are like wars. We know that nation building and development is a task for all and sundry. While the government has a responsibility and role to steer the course of state and national affairs, the people have a responsibility to support and champion the initiatives of the government. Where this is not the case, the country is sure of either hovering around the same point or, in a worst case scenario, retrogressing, and she will invariably be taking a step forward and two steps backward. This is because the people will unnecessarily criticize and antagonize, sabotage, and openly disobey the government. The government will in turn continue to engage all machineries and instruments of power at its disposal to politically conquer and subjugate the people. This will heat up the polity, create fear, and take away freedom, liberty, and divert the creative energy of the nation away from public well-being, as the level of mutual suspicion will be very high. When this happens, we need to look at the issue of legitimacy. Legitimacy gives the aura of credence, acceptance, and support a government receives from the people in order to avoid the situation described above. For a government to be accorded legitimacy, it must be a representation of the will of the people. In other words, it should be a government that the people have chosen or accepted to be in power. This question of legitimacy has been a serious bane in the politics and governance of Nigeria. From colonialism to military dictatorship and now to democratic cheat, legitimacy has been a challenge. Democracy is being maneuvered in a way that the people's choice no longer count in the emergence of their so-called representatives. The consequences of illegitimacy on the nation are self-help, polarization, and underdevelopment. By self-help, the politically mobilized take laws into their hands. At any opportunity, they could by causing severe damages to the nation. Try to make the government unpopular. By polarization, a nation is divided against itself, as some support the government regardless of how it emerged, either because they benefit from the government being in power or that it serves their ego and sentiment for the government to be in power. Polarization is also seen when the government tries to whip up sentiments of its region, religion, or ethnicity into a formidable and fanatical support base as a buffer against popular opposition, thereby dividing the country, dividing the people along the lines of region, religion, and ethnicity. We saw such a polarization under President Trump that seriously undermined the might and reputation of the United States in the international arena. If polarization could deal such a lethal blow to the United States, one can only imagine the extent of damage it can and has been doing to the less developed democracies like Nigeria. Polarization has become so pandemic in Nigeria that when the tenure of a public servant expires and is due, the official procedure of the next most senior officer taking over will be protested vehemently by the religious and ethnic kindred of the outgoing one, if the new one is not from the same demographic, as though it is their birthright or it is statutory provision that a particular region or religion of the country must take that position. Same is true when a public officer is to be prosecuted in line with the laws of the land. The agitation, reaction, and protest is not whether or not he has committed that particular crime, but sadly, which religion does he belong to? Government does boycott vital projects, install their puppets and stooges to carry on their power and cover their backs to avoid vendettas and probe while antagonists keep sabotaging the government. There is therefore the need for an electoral process and practice that ensure that the rights, mandates, and choices of the people are respected. In view of the above, how much can we say of the electoral process and practice of Nigeria? Today, in terms of ensuring political legitimacy, how much legitimacy can we adduce to governments emanating from money-based political process? What we see in Nigeria is that money bags and political heavyweights, mostly former office holders, now turn kingmakers after stealing the Commonwealth are the financiers of delegates at primaries and during elections. This is not in any way a reflection of people's choice. It is king anointment. The electoral body acts like a mediocre actor in a comical movie where it conducts elections that it sometimes declares inconclusive by itself for some routinely challenged and sometimes routinely challenged as being highly marked with so many anomalies and irregularities, from the filing of papers to counting of ballots to collation of results and so on and so forth, to the extent that some of the candidates who the people have actually voted for and are sworn in were later disqualified by the judiciary, and sometimes even up to Supreme Court. And the candidates the people did not vote for were declared winners. This is what Sam Omaseyi referred to as courtocracy and not democracy. Insecurity, thuggery, and rigging that accompany the nation's electoral process is the most visible alert that things will soon fall apart if remedial actions are not quickly taken. Beyond the street thugs, now government security apparatus are being accused of allegedly being used to chase away murder voters to rig elections. These are realities of a state at the risk of falling apart on account of political illegitimacy. In the next episode, I will present chapters 6, 7, and 8 of the book, dealing with zero nationalism and high divisible jingoism, weak institutions, powerful individuals, widespread injustice, and compromised justice delivery system. You can obtain a copy of the book from bookshop around you, or you click the link below to obtain a copy from Amazon or Smashwords. Thank you.